Welcome back. Just kidding. Welcome back to another edition of the NoStoppingKev Show. You here with the Beeford boys. Yeah, I called you a boy because I put you in the post.
Put me in the post.
Yeah.
You dreaming there.
Don't make me release that footage.
What?
I got that footage.
Of you getting what? Slayed?
Me giving Slayed. Oh, he fancy. He young now. He dialed back the clock. But what up, y'all? This is episode 8 of the NoStoppingKev Show. Glad to have y'all back on another Sunday. Let's go. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
I'm excited. You know why I'm excited?
Why are you excited?
It's game day, baby.
Oh, okay.
Got a game tonight, baby.
So you fired up?
Yeah, I'm about to get buckets.
Okay.
Feel bad for whoever guarding me. I feel bad.
He feel good. I'm a drug test him right after this show.
Oh, man. I'll pass.
Yeah, I know you won't pass.
Yeah. But yeah. So, I just feel like I need to talk some hoops because we had our question. I posted it again. Got people's thoughts on that Westbrook and Harden duo that I am so excited to see next season. And I'm gonna just say it was a lot of hate out there. Like you know how I feel about Russ. There's a lot of disrespect out there. Like some of y'all were very disrespectful. And I don't know if y'all meant to hurt me, but I was hurt. A little bit. I'm just hoping we can prove y'all wrong. But yeah, you know what people were saying, right?
What they saying?
Oh, they too ball dominant. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Why people giving them such high expectations? That's the wrong thing. They just gonna disappoint.
Well, my point of view is, who gonna be humble?
Yeah.
Somebody got to humble themselves. You know, like the only thing I say is, they not the same players that came in the league.
What you mean by that?
They not the same. You got to remember, each of them is stars and had their own team now. Mm-hmm. What one's going to surrender? What one going to give up?
Yeah, so the way I look at it is, so a lot of people just write it off as being a bad idea from the jump, right? Like, the moment you got two guys who are criticized for chasing stats, are criticized for they'll never win a championship. When you put two guys with that reputation together, people are just like, oh yeah, no way that's going to work. You got trouble in trouble, right? But I think it's going to come down to coaching system and then player buy-in. They're going to have to buy in. And to your point, someone or both of them are going to have to they're going to have to sacrifice. Just like when LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh all linked up in Miami, they all had to give up something because they all went from being stars to being on the same team. And now we're talking about two guys doing it versus three back then.
You talking about people had different games.
But LeBron and D-Wade still were ball dominant.
But each of them would go off the ball. I mean, and LeBron at times would go away and let other people step up.
I know how you feel. You feel like LeBron defers even in clutch moments, so it's not that big of a thing.
And Chris Bosh played. They had a good, and I mean, Wade played along with Shaq and won a championship. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he can do it. Now, you talking about players that dominate the ball in their hands. Like, I think Houston's system going to have to change because if you got the ball in Harden's hand 90% of the time.
I felt like the Houston teams from the past 2 years were built to take down Golden State. The reason being, one, no one could guard Harden one-on-one, right? But I'll just focus on this past season. When they started, I could tell when they were going to lose a game when Harden would walk the ball up the floor, take all 8 seconds, so now we got 16 on the clock. Then he'd take, a couple more dribbles to get in three-point line range. Now he start dancing at 12. And before you know it, there's no real shot attempt or look like there's an easy, clean look until there's like 4 seconds left on the clock. And if he's not jacking up a step-back three, he's just dishing it to someone who has to fire it up. So there's no real rhythm there, right? Because there's no movement. Right. Which is why I like a team like Golden State, and it's a lot harder to defend when you got movement. You look at Houston last season, particularly in the playoffs, because that's when the game slows down. That's when you really got to execute because, one, teams know your plays, right? You scouting for one team every day. And so there were times when it would look like a 1-2-2 zone. Because Harden had the ball at the top of the floor. You had a guy up on him. And then your next two guys who were guarding the guys on the wing, they were at the elbow. And then the people, if your man was in the corner or if he was on the block, you were on the block. So really there was no place for him to go. And if he did drive, it was a kick, but there was no penetration. I would take that. If I'm playing the Houston Rockets, if I'm the defense, I'm taking that any day of the week. If he's just going to live and die.
So now, if you got Harden playing that way, what Westbrook going to do?
I think that, so to my point, is that can't be the system. It can't just be isolation basketball. And I don't believe in isolation basketball. Only in certain stints, right? Like, I'm not the type of coach that's going to ever, no matter what type of players I got, I need movement. I never want to see a guy going 1-on-5. So to answer your question, I think you gotta integrate those guys to where they both can play to their strengths. So they both play to their strengths when they have the ball, right? We probably can agree to that, right?
Right. When they had the ball.
So if I'm their coach, I was talking to a guy from work, and he said, the tough times is going to be in the half court because it's like whose show it is. Because Russ can always get the rebound and go coast to coast and do that 8 to 12, 15 times a game, right?
Right.
But in the half court, I think that there has to be a system in place where, like, one, Russ isn't the greatest shooter, so you can't just have him spot up. Nor would I want him to do that because he's too athletic, right? So I would love to see him, maybe like if it's a system where he's catching the ball on a wing and a ball screen is coming. Now you pitting him in a pick and roll with like a Clint Capella or a Tyson Chandler, who I think just signed there. So now you got a guy who you can just throw it up to either one of them for a line once you get that dribble penetration, and now the big stepping up, or you can kick it out to shooters because now once you got Russ in the pick and roll, right? James can spot up on that possession. Eric Gordon can spot up on that possession. P.J. Tucker also can hit the corner three. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Austin Rivers might be going back there. He also can hit a three. So I think that in those scenarios, you want Russ penetrating or slashing. And he's a decent free throw shooter too, so he'll get to the line and knock him down. James, I just do not want to see him going 1-on-5 on any possession. Because I won't say on any possession, limited to maybe 5% of the time.
Like I say, they're going to have to change their whole system. They're going to have to change it from the way they play. They're going to have to.
I think they need to find, it just has to be a balance. I liked them last year when Chris Paul was on the floor and Harden was out, just because they played more like a team. They were harder to defend because it was more movement.
Right.
So they are going to have to change their system, which, bringing in two superstars like that, you'll have to.
In other words, Paul being not healthy, but I think Harden takes away from his game. Yeah, because Chris Paul is a facilitator, so you got them both on the floor. Right.
If Chris Paul doesn't have the ball in his hand, he's not playing to his full potential.
Right. And then you got him playing one-on-one at times when he might not be wanting to really shoot, but now he getting his shot off. Now,
or he went to the pick and roll a lot last year too.
Right, but yeah, he'd probably do that. But now, how do Westbrook game fit in there? I could say Chris Paul is more versatile than, I would say he's more versatile on being a playmaker than Westbrook. Westbrook might have averaged some assists and all like that, but it's like kind of a different.
I think he can be just as much of a playmaker when he's making the right basketball decisions. I think they're just different types of playmakers. So Chris Paul can slow it down, be kind of methodical, operate out of the pick and roll. Russ is a get downhill player, but he puts so much pressure on the defense that he's gonna the help is gonna have to come from somewhere because he's gonna beat his man. You're not playing Russ straight up unless you're that team out in LA that's not the Lakers and you got the crazy wing defenders and a Patrick Beverly. But, any other team, Russ is going to get in that lane and force help to come, in which case I can still see him getting close to 10 assists just off of lobs and kicking it out because now he's going to be surrounded by shooters.
I didn't get a chance to see Westbrook play or see a lot of his games in the playoffs, but I think his numbers were down in the playoffs, especially in the series that they lost, if I'm not mistaken.
They might have been. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I did notice though that there were times when Russ would defer to PG down the stretch to score, which could be some maturity on his part.
I know, like, when I would tune into the NBA TV some days, and like it was just saying where, like, he didn't produce the way that he was producing during the regular season. And like sometimes I see so many players like that. The defense or the playoff defense or something.
It's a lot different. It's a different game. That's a full different ball game. Whole different ball game.
Like I say, it is a different ball game in a way, but certain players, it's not a different ball game too. Some of your elite stars, it's not different. They still go and do what they have to do.
And then I think too, it's like if you stay true to what you do, and your team stays true to what the team does, it's a lot easier to have success and like still be have your numbers be the same as they were during the regular season. Staying true to basically it's just consistency, right?
Yeah, it's consistency, but like I'm saying, sometimes you got to go harder. Like sometimes like the defense going to try to stop you more. So now you got to either pick a spot or now you got to use your other players. Like like I'm gonna say like, and I go by and we talking about one of the greatest players ever. When you say Michael Jordan,
he wasn't even that good. No,
but you know what? They wasn't gonna stop him. He gonna get his. He gonna find a way. He developed to go in the post. He developed different ways where you couldn't, and everything. And then other people fed off of him.
Yeah, and I mean, when you got a guy like that, and I mean, I'm not saying these guys are just as good as him, but I will say they command just as much attention. You got guys like Westbrook and Harden. That's gonna open up the floor for the other guys, because it's gonna take more than one guy to stop them. But I think we can agree on that.
No, I mean that's totally true. But what I say sometimes, when they do get stopped, how do you stop? Like some players still gonna get there.
Look at Giannis.
Even
though he has his limitations when it comes to scoring, but he's always gonna go. He's always gonna try to get to the basket, and then when a double team steps up, he'll make the pass out. Things like that. But I think to your point, and I think you shared this before, is that constant willingness to keep going.
Okay, if I show you a double team and you give up the ball quick or anything like that, but by not even putting pressure on the defense, by not even trying to make them play.
You're saying as soon as they start coming out, you just
you throw the ball. So what good is you doing? You giving the ball up.
That's what the defense wants you to do.
Right.
So you got to recognize.
Right. So
that.
now you doing what they want to do. Now you taking yourself out of the game. I'd rather for you to force a play, even if you turn the ball, but you still being aggressive and you still making something instead of just going back. Now you used to score like 30. Now you scoring 15.
I partially agree with you. I wouldn't say like force something. I'll say you still gotta be aggressive. So
aggressive. That's
you
what
pick
I'm
your
saying.
spot.
Aggressive.
So if you know they're trapping you at the top of the floor and like the passing isn't really there, then maybe you try to get the ball in another spot of the floor where you're in better position. So like if you're closer into the 3-point line versus when I picture what you saying, I'm crossing half court and they start showing a double team and then you throw the ball away, right? So let's say now if I catch on the wing, and now if that dude leaves, then I know I got a cutter. So now I'm in a little bit better position where they can pay for double teaming me. So even like when I play in my rec league and I'm starting to see double teams, I'll try to draw the defender, like one of those defenders so far out of the play that now when I throw it to one of my teammates, he has a lot of room to operate with. So now you're playing 4-on-3 because I done took two guys out the play. So yeah, you might have gotten the ball out of my hands, but now my team is advantage 4-3. We advantage 1,
Right.
So I think you just got to recognize and be strategic with it. But speaking of defense, I don't know if you got anything more.
No, go ahead.
I'm excited about that Clipper team because Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Patrick Beverly. Yes, I like Patrick Beverly even though he hurt Russ once upon a time. Lou Williams, big time player. He should have been a multi-time All-Star by now, but he's been labeled as 6 man, and I mean he has 3 6 man of the year awards, I think. And he actually was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast a couple weeks ago, kind of talking about how he got stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll share a little bit about that, or people can go listen. But I'm excited for that Clipper team. Montrezl Harrell, they got some pieces there. And I mean, think about it. They made a wounded Golden State work last season. But the fact that they did that without no true superstar, now they got 2. And 2 guys that I think can buy into a system. Or at least, Kawhi's going to buy in. He wants to be there.
Well, I think Doc Rivers is a good coach.
He's very respected.
I think he's a good coach. I mean, and like you said, you got to give him props for what that team did do with what they had this year. So you got to give it to him, but you also know that he had it back in Boston. He always had something. Like I think in the playoffs, like for several years, his teams got injured in the playoff, if I'm not mistaken. Doc, because in the playoffs they didn't get, but they got hurt like at time. So I think they will be good. But like when you say a person like Kawhi, look what he did with Toronto. What, he still produced every game, and everybody knew what they were going to do and who they were going to. But he still did it, and then he made with how he played. He still opened it up for the other people around him.
Definitely.
So like that's what I'm saying. The difference. He didn't soon they threw a double team at him. He didn't get rid of the ball. He still did things. He passed the ball at times, but he made them play. He made them move. He didn't make it easy on them.
Yeah, you gotta make them make you get a ball up.
You gotta
just because they come and don't even mean. Like, somebody can play a full court man-to-man defense, right? And I see this with my high schoolers all the time. I mean, even back when I was playing in high school, you catch the ball on the inbound, and you got a guy up in your face, right? And you got other bodies there, too, right? Because, you got the inbounder, his guy is up, and it's like, oh, they're pressing me. But once you take a breath, you're like, wait, first of all, this is a man-to-man press, so clear out. So I had some space. Then you notice, majority of the time, like, the dude all the way up there, unless he's, he prides himself on defense, he playing Olay defense. Like, he backing up as you coming. So he really just slowing you up the court.
Right.
Like, so unless they make you get a ball up, like, you chilling.
Right. But, I mean, if you can if you do this 82 games, and now when you get in the playoffs, you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing what you've been doing?
Maybe schemes change. People don't always come out with the same schemes in the regular season as they do in the playoffs. Get a little bit more creative.
But then that's when you gotta adapt and do things too, by knowing what to do and what you have to do.
What you can do, and I think a lot of it comes with experience too. Like, the more you play, the more you're put in situations, the more you're prepared for it next time. Because now it's something you can anticipate. Like, when I'm coaching my guys, they're always, sometimes I take the pessimistic outlook. I think of all the things that can go wrong. Where the guys that I'm coaching, they're always like, oh, tomorrow's going to be cake. Like, we going to win. And I'm like, what if X, Y, and Z happens? Like, they don't think about that. And part of the reason is they haven't been there before. Like, I've been in positions where I thought we were going to beat a team, and then next thing you know, you lost that game, and now your season went like roller coaster ride from there. So sometimes it's just experience too.
Well, I mean, like, you know what? I feel though the competition level get bigger. But if you've been playing basketball, like most of us or most people may start playing basketball when they're young. And some people, you start getting experience from situations in the little leagues that you play in.
Yeah, but being on a different stage.
I understand that, but then, Louis Lloyd, let him rest in peace, and like how, at the funeral, some people was talking about when he got on that stage, I don't care what stage he got on, he was gonna shine.
Well, he played at the highest level, so.
But I'm talking about,
I'm sure at some point
even before,
there were
before he got to that highest
So you're telling
level.
me it was no growing pain? Just he never stepped out there and played like every game of his was great. Is what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, you know what? On each level he played, he shined on that stage. And the more people that you might have put there, the more I mean, you had to be there and listen to the things that they said about this guy. You had to see, like me, I was able to see him play. You know, then the highlights that they would, you know what, when he was dunking on Doc or he dunked on Kareem, you know, like he got on them stage and he did it. Now, and he wasn't the real go-to guy where he was, but he still did his thing.
Yeah, that's a different dynamic. But the only point I'm making is if each time, let's say each time he made it to a new level in his career, and not just Black Magic, but anybody, right? Let's say each time, you know, you go from high school to playing at big-time D1 program like the Kentucky's, Dukes, UNCs, and then you go to NBA Summer League, NBA regular season, first round playoff, second round playoff. And I'm not saying doing this straight through, but each time you get to a new stage, if you dominate all the way through, you know, like go out there and perform the same way or get better and better, that's incredible. I don't think anybody's ever been able to do that. Like, because people get knocked down. Like, you're not just going to be that successful. Like, no one has a perfect track record. Like, even Jordan had to go back and prepare for Detroit because he wasn't ready. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm still great. I'm still going to play. I'm still going to put pressure on the defense. I'm still going to make y'all have to stop me. But he got stopped at some point.
He might have didn't win there, but they didn't stop him.
He didn't win. So
he didn't win.
The team got stopped.
Huh? Right, the team got stopped. Record wasn't perfect. But he still performed. It wasn't because he didn't perform that they went down. He went up against, like you said, the bad boys.
He wasn't enough.
By himself.
He wasn't enough.
By himself.
And how much did the team change year to year?
But he didn't get stopped. What I'm saying is they didn't really stop him. He still did what he did. It wasn't because he choked. You never heard them say Michael Jordan choked or he didn't perform.
No.
He did. Like, I mean, like you know that you had to stop these guys and these guys coming at you. You wasn't just gonna throw a double team at them and stop them.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, these guys might have to grow, but like what I'm saying is, okay, Louis Lloyd played. Probably, I think they might have been number 1, number 2 in the country in high school. He went to Drake and he was number 1 in rebounds and number 2 in a year, like number 1 in rebound and number 1 in scoring. Like he still performed and still got it when they knew that that's who they needed to stop.
Yeah, my only point is you get to that from experience, right? And so, yeah, you playing. My only thing is, the only point I'm making is, and if you disagree with this, so be it. But playing in playoffs in your little YMCA league is a lot different than playing in the NCAA tournament. It's a lot different than being in round 1, round 2, semis, or the NBA finals.
It's like, I'm not going to say it's not a difference. But, you know, because the pressure or the people there, it makes it more. But see, that what makes it better.
That's what makes the great.
That what makes it. Like whatever level, like when you play and you get to that level, and if you are a star in that level, you still want to star. Like you know what? Like you saying, I was a star in my grade Y team. Then I might have been a star in my junior high, and it got harder. Or you could say that it was more because you get to play against better players each level that you go up. When you go to high school, you're gonna play against better people. When you go to college, you're gonna play against better people. So you still get the experience from like I'm saying, you still got experience because you learned and went through some of the same pressure situation. So when you say experience, if I've been playing basketball 25 years. I got some years of experience.
You do, but you don't have experience in moments that you've been in. If you can't have experience in something if you've never been there before. Is my point. But like if I've never been to the NBA Finals, I don't have NBA Finals experience. It's gonna be new to me, so there might be some jitters. I might hit a wall at some point. It don't mean I can't not win the championship.
I understand.
It just means it's gonna be a little.
I understand that you're gonna have Jennings. Okay, let me say Magic Johnson left college, went to in his first rookie year, won MVP of the championship on another big stage where he had no experience in the NBA.
Yeah.
But the game that he played his game, and that's what I'm saying. You've got to play your game. Yeah, it's pressure. It's always gonna be pressure. Like, and you know what? The more pressure that you add on yourself, but when you love this game, you go out there and perform. And I don't care how much experience or who you play against. You got to go in there and get your game in. You know, like, I remember my coach used to say, like, our practices. Like, you know what? Your team, when you practice, y'all all know the same plays. What do you got to do? You got to execute.
So our plays got counters.
You know, right. So this is the same way when you get there. Like, I agree with you.
I'm just saying, not everyone's able to do that. And yes, the greats do it. And you have people like Magic who's able to. That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
But I'm saying, like most of them. But I'm just saying, when you this great, when you get to be that great and you right there, then, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know. You know, I just know some players still produce and some players, you know what, when it comes around, the defense or whatever it is, or the pressure or something, you know.
Something else wins, not the players.
Or you know what, they got to go back. You know what, and you know what, that's what they always say. They ain't got experience. I can't agree. They've been playing basketball for so long.
It's different. I think we're talking about the NBA.
Okay.
I never been in those shoes.
No, I understand that too, but like, you know what, the shoes that you have been in, you know, the first time,
what you got.
But the first time you was in that shoe, and you was in that pressure situation, whatever level that you was at, you still got experience at that level.
Yeah, you there now. Once you in it, you gotta work with what you got.
You got experience. You got experience playing in a game 7 of a championship game. Maybe not in the NBA, but you got experience playing in a pressure game.
Yeah, when it's win or go home.
Yeah. So you still got
some. You got to work with what you got.
You still got some experience.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Now.
It's different qualities, it's levels of experience.
Well, you might, you know what, you might be playing against a better coach, or you playing against better players. But you know that should only bring the best out in you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last thing I want to talk about basketball, like NBA related. Ben Simmons is not competing in the World Cup for Australia. He is reporting back to Philly, so hopefully I'll bump into him downtown, say what's up, let him know we happy he signed on. But yeah, he's coming back to Philly, so I was hoping he would play so I would see where that jump shot was at. But my theory is that Ben doesn't want to showcase it just yet. Might want to keep working on it, so when it really counts rolls around, he gonna let us see that thing fly. So that's what I'm hoping. And only saw one video this entire offseason of him shooting threes, and somebody was so disrespectful in the comments because my man was cashing threes. It was like probably 7 in a row, right? And somebody was like, put a cone down. I bet he started missing.
Well, you know what? You know what though? It need more experience, right?
You gotta get experience shooting in the game, baby.
Huh?
You gotta make some in the game when there's some defense out there. That's what I want to see. That's what we need at least. Cause Sixers, I think if it's gonna be a year for us to at least get to the finals, it'll be this year. And then when we get there, hopefully we match up well and we can win one. Cause I need a parade when it's warm. Cause Eagles parade was freezing. But I think it could be a good season. But I'm just excited about the NBA in general. Like that West is stacked. It's like the duo era out there.
West been stacked times before.
I know, but it's just like it's some stars out there, and like KD came over here, but he not playing, so it's like we down one. Like that balance and power is super imbalanced. But yeah. So you had a little something you wanted to get into today. I thought we was about to have another intruder. Yeah, your eyes diverted.
Oh no.
Yeah, sometimes we get special guests here in the studio, y'all. But yeah. So what you wanted to dive into today? Pops, putting you on the spot. You lead this transition.
I don't know, like I was, thinking about like something about like some spiritual principles in life, like being honest, honesty, open mindedness, and willingness. It was something that like I learned when I got away from my addiction, my active addiction, and it taught me how that I had, and that's what it is: honesty, open mindedness, and willingness. How to do that, and like I had to learn to be honest with me and honest with myself. I had to learn to be open to listen to people, to let people guide me and steer me in the right direction, and I had to be willing to do these things. And which was so good, man. It like really helped me, and it kept me. Like I remember, like when you were saying, like how can you relay that in basketball terms, and you were saying it. You got to be honest with yourself. Like, what? You can't thinking you better than yourself when you're not like that. You got to be honest and knowing what you can do and what you can't not do. You need to be open, listen to your teammates, your coaches. You need to be willing to go out there and give 100% and not 50%. And then you go back honest. I honestly going to give 100% today.
Yeah, I think, one thing you made me think about was a couple episodes ago when, I was sharing about my Toastmasters experience when I was there, and, they were asking, like, what's one of the biggest things you wish, high schoolers would learn? And I said, just to, kind of develop that trust and, willingness to let someone guide them. So we right on, apple didn't fall far from the tree on that thought. But yeah, then you talk about, like, especially like these, I experience a lot with kids that I coach. It's like their perception's off. So, you said sometimes being honest, but do you think it's the case that sometimes people don't know, or their sense of reality is just off? Because you can't blame them, because they're not lying to themselves. They think it's the honest truth.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't know, and like sometimes I can't speak for anybody else. I know for me, like, I need to be honest, not wanting to be or thinking. I gotta be really honest. See, because like I could be honest with you, but dishonest with myself. And that's why I said I really have to be honest with me. And then truthfully, I can't be honest with you if I can't be honest with myself.
That's something I think you taught me. I don't know if you taught me it directly or indirectly, but I remember you saying, like, it might have been about, you might have been talking about someone that was like lying to you, and you was like one, who am I that you gotta lie to me for? Like I don't rule over you. There's no need to lie to me. It's whatever. But you said at the end of the day, you're only lying to yourself. So that's always been something I carry with me. It's like, if I'm gonna sit up here and lie to someone, like, at the end of the day, whether I choose to run with the lie or not, I'm lying. I'm being dishonest with myself.
And the funny thing about sometimes, you could tell somebody lie, and they know, and you know what, and they kind of know that you lying, but they just want to give you the benefit of the doubt and let you think and want to believe you. But you know what, you so busy thinking that you getting over on this person because they believe in what I'm telling them. And to me, I was good at fooling myself, and that's all I'm doing was fooling myself. And then, like, a lot of time when I fool myself, I'm right back out there doing the things that I was doing. And that's what I mean, like, I totally had to learn to be honest with myself. And then once I could be honest with me, if I could be honest with me, I definitely could be honest with you.
You just something else you said was, just about, when I was kind of asking about when people kind of, their sense of reality is off, right? That just made me think of how it goes back to, like, who's in your circle, making sure, like, supporting you, right? Because I can tell you, like, hey yo, Dad, your game it ain't what it used to be, partner. Like like I can tell you that you might still think
no.
Like I give it to you, you can still you can still hit your little elbow jump shot, right?
I know my game ain't what it used to, and I ain't gonna try.
I'm saying if let's say you wake up one day and you be like, man, I can go hop in Kev League and get 40. Some nights you probably can.
I don't even know about that, man.
Getting up and down the floor. But let's say you was like that. It gotta be, if that's seriously what you're believing, and let's just say this was over a period, like a long period of time, like you honestly believe that, it's gonna be on somebody else to be like, yo, I need to, or like bring you back down to earth or something. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Really, like I say, I ain't gonna beat you. Like I ain't gonna really beat you. But you know what? I could give you some work, man. You know what I mean? I could give you some work for the couple minutes I could be out there. But like now, in the long run, no. Because like I'm being honest with myself. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to go out here and say I could go out here today and get 20 against people 20, 25 years younger than me. I shouldn't be able to.
30 years younger than you?
Yeah, well, I don't even want to say that much. But I'm not going to say I can go out there. But you know what? I could probably still have my moments. Yeah. You know, and that's good enough for me. Like I ain't going out there to try to impress nobody no more. But that's what I'm saying. I gotta be honest with myself.
It's funny because I went back to Mastery a couple weeks ago. They had an open gym, and like I went there because I was trying to get back. I missed my rec league like 2 weeks in a row, so I hadn't touched the ball in like 3 weeks, right? You know me, I'm like, I got game coming up. I can't let my game be the first time I'm touching the ball. So I went out there, wasn't moving well, and then dude ain't want to pick me up on his winners. I'm like, you don't know who I am, bro? Like, this is my gym, right? And he said something disrespectful. He's like, I'm trying to win. I was like, oh yeah. And my man lost after that. But, you know, I just had to be real with myself because, you know me, I pride myself on my ability to defend, right? And that's been something I've been telling you about. Like, I don't work at defense anymore like I used to when I was in the gym doing my line drills, working on my slides, because I used to play full court man-to-man defense, like, and I would pick the point guard up from the time he inbound the ball all the way up the floor, right? I can't do that anymore. I don't work at that anymore. So I got to be real with myself and be like, hey, yo, Kev, maybe you need to play your man, you know, still play him to his left, but you might want to straighten it up a little bit. Don't just give him that straight lane because you're not as quick on your little push step to cut off the middle, right? So just being real with myself. And then, you know, I talk to, I think, my players that, you know, they're going to go on and play college ball, you know, play at the next level. But I find that, especially in the city, you see it a lot, at least in my experience, because that's where my experience is here in the city. See a lot of kids that aren't able to really understand what level they're on because they think they're dominating, you know, Division C, D, E of the public league here in the city, having no idea what it's like to play against those Division A and B teams, right? So they think, oh, I'm getting 30 here, I should be D1. It's like, no. Like, one, you're gonna be out of position at the D1 level, right?
Right.
It's like you gotta think about their guards are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Sometimes even some programs 6'6", right? That's the era we're playing with basketball, and it's like, yo, you're like micro size. You're 5'7".
See, you know what? I remember. See, and I guess the public league was probably different when I was coming out there than like when you saying now the difference. See, like I remember every game that I played, and this what made me better because every night that I played in the public league, my opponent was good. My opponent was so good, like, you know what, most nights they can get 30. So, you know, like, you know what, it's going to be a battle because, like, they made me play. Like I'm saying, it made me play because I know at any given time, like I wasn't gonna let them embarrass me. And like, and all the players that I know, and all of them that I'm talking about, and like so many of my friends, and all of them, like a lot of them went to play Division I ball, and all that.
You know what I'm about to say, right?
What's that?
You know, you talk about a guy coming in there to get 30. You can't let him embarrass you. So I know what your philosophy was. You had to outscore him because I know you ain't played on defense.
I played defense. I did my best to play defense.
What? Like, you scored. Your defense was your offense, right?
Call whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want to call it. But like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna say I was a great defensive player, but I mean, I played pretty good defense.
Did you? So your defense is better than James Harden's?
I don't even think James Harden played defense. I don't even know if they play defense in the NBA anymore now.
Some guys do.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I'm not gonna say everybody
don't.
don't.
Kawhi, Patrick Beverly. I love Patrick Beverly. Like some people can't stand him.
Some of them do.
But I love him because he's just naggy and pesky, and he's just gonna torture you. Try to take you off your game. He's gonna talk to you, and part of that is just because that's what I used to do.
Well, you know what? You gotta do whatever works for you. See, like I came up when guys older than me. Man, like, you know, like the game was like more physical. Like guys would punch you. They would do all kinds of things, talk to you, do whatever they had to do to try to make their game better.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like see when I played in high school, like we had like probably out of the top 10 players, like all city players, probably 8 of them was guards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Every night I went out and played. I had to play, and you had to play some defense. You had to play some defense. Now, everybody that you go up against might not score 30, but all of them could play. All of them might some of them might was like good point guards or whatever. Like every game I played, I had to play. It was like I can tell you one thing. It wasn't a game that I went out and I had a day off or easy opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But that made me play night in and out. And like, you know what? It takes me back to when I talk about how, and like, you know what? I need to try and to be consistent as that. Mm-hmm. And that's how my clean time grew and everything else, because I tried to be consistent with that.
Coach Dev used to always tell some of our guys, like, strength and consistency, not numbers. Yeah. Right? You can go out there and score 30 one night, but you've been up before that. You was 2-7. Ain't going to go 30, but you're going to be after that. 6, 4.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. And I think that's something that expands to life. So it's like, let's take this podcast for instance. You know, you could do 1-2 episodes, but are you willing to stay consistent, post on time? Like, it's hard. It's not always easy. And I think when you're striving for consistency, it's gonna bring about growth. If you're truly committed to it, you're gonna have to grow, and especially if it's something you're not used to doing.
But you know what? Even and you're totally right. But you know what? I believe what makes it easier is what love do you really have in it.
Yeah, if you're passionate about it.
And like I'm not saying, and when I say love, like I gotta go deeper in love. See, because like, I mean, is it from your heart? See, like, and we talked about that a little bit before. I could love doing something, but don't mean that I love what I'm doing. You know, I could say that, but what do I love out of it? Do I love just to benefit me, or do I love trying to help somebody else? And like the reason I'm here every week or glad to do this is because I'm doing this from my heart. I'm doing this not just for me. I'm doing it to help somebody else, to give something back. And that's when I'm saying, when we start loving things, like when you really truly love basketball, like, you know, you might have a gift. You might be able to be like this, but you know what? You may not be helping, because just think of some of the players that's all for themselves. You know, they don't make nobody on their team better. And that, you know, so, you know, they just getting all the stats and doing everything for themselves. But when you give up something to make somebody else better, that makes you a better person. That makes you a better star. You know?
Yeah. Wow, that's a little deep.
Well,
but you just touched on sacrifice.
It's the love, man. It's the love of doing this. You know, when you first talked to me about this, I you know what? For some reason, like I know that this is something that I always wanted to do, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to do it. And look who I got to do it with. Somebody I truly love.
Oh, you love me? Oh man, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what I'm talking about. You know.
You know, I'm happy too, because it's like you think about, and it all depends on what your focus is on life. So I developed this passion for, giving back and finding ways to mentor, and I can't always do it as much as I would like because you got other responsibilities. You gotta have your 9 to 5, so I can, have certain, I guess, like the ability to buy equipment and stuff like that. But just in doing this, it's just like, it allows me to just reach more. So it's like, yeah, I coach. I do my work with the nonprofit and sometimes get to interact with the kids there. But I always want to do more, and it's something else that it allows me to do it. And I get to do it with the OG, Well, I can't take you on the court anymore as much as I want and give you that. So I gotta find another hobby,
Well, this is the best hobby because I ain't trying to get out there on the court. I ain't trying to get out there on the court. I told y'all,
like I be having 911. Like before we start playing, I like dial 911 and sit the phone down. Yeah. My phone don't lock either, so I gotta sit it down just in case.
But you know what happened in them seconds before I need 911? You know what happened before them seconds?
You need a drug test?
You got the footage on that too.
You need a drug test?
You got the footage on that, don't
you? Because I be feeling bad too.
Feeling bad about what?
I be cooking you. Be like, man, you supposed to. Bible say respect your parents, honor thy mother and father. I be brutalizing my father. No,
I don't know why he trying to turn this into a comedy show today because he trying to put some humor in it, but I can understand that.
No, I'm just.
No, we know. we know.
But then even, and it's crazy too because, like when you say like love and really caring about people, it's like you'll think of them, like they'll come to mind when you have certain interactions. So like I was at a networking event yesterday, and I met this dude. He does graphic design, and immediately I'm like, "Oh, you do it on your own?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got my own thing." I think he has some friends that works with him. But I thought about one of my players that is interested in graphic design and plans on going on and studying and actually is a good artist. So even just being like, yo, you should hit this guy up, see what path he's gone, because there's always many paths you can take to get to a level in life or a place in life. But yo, just hear a perspective. So I immediately was like, yo, I need your card because I need to get somebody the option to reach out to you, like whether he does it or not. But that just made me think of like how much, when you love someone, you care a lot. You're just looking out.
I went to Louis Lloyd's funeral. Let him rest in peace, and and what he done, and how just being there, and the basketball players that came out. I mean, like it's just something to just see all the great players that was from Philadelphia. Or here and whatever. It was just so good to see people that you played against, just to know, man, just to I just can't say it. And like I was talking to his brother, when I go to work, I stop, where Lou had his stand and all like that. I stopped by and me and China was talking, and just what he done for so much and so many people, man. And and just for the other people like Mo Howard and all them, what they doing, trying to put the fraternity together to get and like China was telling me that they getting like 400 strong or something already. Like how just being there today and many people that wasn't there or just it was just so great, man. Cause like I said, you remember seeing some of these people, you remember playing against some of these people, and you remember like all that, but they all was together, and he brung all that there, and like what, and it was so much love in there, man. Like, it was truly love. You know, I got to see people I didn't see, you know, ball players, and like, it's really love. Like, you know, there, like, I'm not trying to really shoot out so many names now, because like, when you start shooting names out, you're going to forget somebody or you miss it. But it was just so great to be around it, and like, it was a thrill for me, and I know that I need to get out and mingle more, you know.
Yeah, and you know, it's a shame that, you know, funerals are always one of those events that brings people together. Wish we could do it more outside of that. You know, I think that's something, you know, that's just a challenge we should take on. It's like, let's try to organize more events where we bring people together, whether it's your friends, family, co-workers, just so we can, like you said, have that loving atmosphere. And, you know, you mentioned, you know, seeing guys you used to play against. It's funny because I would be like walking from work or, you know, just out casually, and I'll see a familiar face, and it might not be anybody I was close to or nothing, but I'm just like, we definitely play ball against each other. We're about the same size, so I know I was checking you, because how else do I know your face, you know? And, you know, in today's time, growing up in the city, and, I mean, it's been a crazy summer here, you know, you don't take life for granted. So when I see guys, I'm like, yo, it's just a blessing that we're still here on this earth, because there's so many people, even from the time I was in high school, that were victims of gun violence. That might be something we need to talk about too. Like, what can we do to help the city? Because things aren't trending in a positive direction for our people.
Well, you know, too, like, you know, getting involved, like, you know, like, I know that, like, some of the things that, like, I've been reading, like, you know, when you looked at the Sunny Hill League and what they post and what they trying to do, like, I know Mo and them trying to bring back the New York, Philadelphia, and they used to be some games when New York played Philadelphia, you know, that used to be something. I remember we used to go to Washington, we go to Pittsburgh and play. I mean, like, you know, you taking the best players from Philly going against the players in New York.
You ever playing one of those games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you was like the man.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah, I played, you know, like, with the Sunny Hill All Stars and all like that, cause like you taking the best and like that, and like I said, we used to play, like, Washington had the Urban Coalition League. Like, you know, New York is, you know, big. The Rugby League is like the big, but you taking the players and you bringing them here, and like they said, they trying to bring this tradition back. And I don't have the dates right now, but like it was posted in there, and I know it's coming up soon when they're gonna have tryouts. They're gonna have tryouts and stuff like that.
What age group is it?
I think he was saying 13 to 15, and it might be 15 to 17, something like that.
So young guys getting out there doing their thing.
Well, yeah, you know, that's where, like, we need to really start.
Yeah, with the youth, man, give them a positive thing to come together. Right. Hopefully, what I like to see, and I probably need to hit up Mr. Sunny Hill, is, you know, you got people in that room or in that playground, gym, wherever it's held at. Let's have another talk, you know. It doesn't always have to be basketball. Basketball can be that medium that gets them in, right? So now you got them in a space where we can talk about things that's going on in the community and things that we can do to make it better. So that might be something you need to relay. Like, yo, let's have a conversation. It can be short, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Let's just take advantage of the opportunity while you got all people there under, you know, a roof or at a playground, like I said, and just in that loving atmosphere, let's have a conversation about what we can do when we leave here.
Well, you know, like, one thing I remember when I was young, man, we had recreation centers.
Yeah, I talked to somebody about that too.
We had places to go. And see, but you know what? We had people, and like this, when I go back, honestly wanting to help people.
Yeah, you got to have those constructive environments.
Like what I'm saying is, like, you know what? Somebody might get a basketball team. You know, they might put a team in a basketball league. This person only want to think about winning a basketball game. He might even buy a team and put in a league. So but you know what? Brand. But you're not helping. Like, you're not really, your love for this isn't really there. Mm-hmm. You like what you're doing, and you might even say you love what you're doing, but you're just trying to win a championship. You're not trying to mentor some kids. You're not trying to teach some kids. Like, and that's what I mean about more coaching and more trying to help somebody. It might go, as we said before, it might go beyond basketball, that this person might need help. He might be good in basketball, but he might need to be stirred away from that other life there. So you might have to, like, you know what? Yo, if you want to stay in that life, I can't use you on my team no more. You might have to say that, because now if he just want to be about that life, or you want to use him just because like that, or you might want to give him some things. Like when I say sometimes basketball helped me, but basketball also hurted me. And I said that before, because by me being who I was and coming up on different teams, I could get the wrong thing from the person, not the right thing. They'll give me what I want, and I wanted the wrong thing. But I use basketball to get that. So now, if I know I use basketball to get that, now I can't allow somebody that I want to help not go in the direction I go. So I mean, we talk about something you talk about. My experience that I know that where that would take you, or where that. So now I got to try to steer him the other way, and I got to try to teach him, and that's what we need. And I mean, like, I had people that would do that, and I had, like we gonna call old heads that was really about that. You had some old guys, man, want to kick your butt. They ain't. You had to respect them. You respect them, so you didn't do certain things, or you had to sneak. And that's about giving back now.
You doing the right thing out here. But you know what time it is. Gotta get ready to bounce. Think you dropped a lot of knowledge.
Time went by that quick again?
It always flies by, man.
Oh man, I tell you, this is so great, man.
Yeah, you got a lot of fans out there too.
I know
you don't know this.
It's getting better and better.
You got a lot of fans out there. They love you. They be like, yeah, yo, dad, he said X, Y, and Z, and I really like that. And I'll be like, so I ain't say nothing. No, I'm just playing. But yeah.
No, you know what?
Just know you out there providing a great perspective on things. So I just wanted to let you know that. Keep it up, Dad. Keep it. I know you out here giving yourself so that you can help someone, but I just want to let you know people out there listening to you. Yeah. But yeah, we gotta get ready to bounce. Oh, I didn't forget this announcement.
Yes, you did.
Let me be honest with myself. I meant to do it at the beginning of the show. I forgot, but I got it now. So, check out the Don't Be Pressed podcast. That's Devin and Morgan's podcast. Oh, what is my computer doing? Oh, hold on, wait. My computer ain't supposed to lock? I don't like when my device is to lock. I need y'all to hold on 1 second. All right, we're good, and we still rolling. Check out the Don't Be Pressed podcast, hosted by Devin and Morgan. I was on there this past week. We had a good topic. It was fun being a guest on their show. So check it out. It is dropping on. It's out already. By the time y'all hear this, it's out. So go to it. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Here's another one. It's Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They the big ones. So go check it out. Also, remember, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also listen to us on the go. Where can they listen to us at, Dad? I don't know how to computer. You talking about computers?
Oh, man.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. For my Android folks, I still love y'all. No shade.
I tell you, got a bunch of jokes today, man.
I'm trying to take. It's game day, baby.
I can ask you. So that's the way you getting away from the game day jitters? This is getting you away from the game day jitters?
I don't know if it's cold. I'm just excited. I got energy right now. I was tired all day. Work been taking it out of me, but I have my podcast, our podcast to look forward to. Now I got the game to look forward to. It's about to be a good day. But yeah. So check us out. Also follow us on Instagram at NoStoppingKev Show, and follow my personal page at NoStoppingKev. Real easy to remember. People, go back if you have to. Follow us on our podcast websites. on the apps. So whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, hit that follow button. Also, leave us a rating and comment down below. And if you're on YouTube, and if you're not on YouTube, go to it and just give us a tongue-tied. Subscribe. Boom. Did I forget anything?
I guess it's the game day. What is it?
Excitement?
Yeah, game day excitement. Huh?
I got a lot of energy right now.
Yeah.
I'm pumped up, Dad.
So, y'all, I'm going to let y'all know today. Next week, we're going to come in and see what he do today.
Yeah, you going to let him know.
So you better back all this up today.
And
Also, I'm gonna talk about you next week.
You know what they say, man? Don't write a check that your butt can't bounce. Oh, cash. My bad, I messed that up. So I think on that note, I need to bounce. So yeah, we're gonna see y'all same time, same place next week. Holla at your boy. Peace.
And have a blessed week, all.
Yeah, have a blessed week.
Peace.
You ain't want to do a little? What about that dance? I don't know how to do it.